All right, Corey from Blood Brothers Racing here with a shorty. Our friend and viewer, Cheech Magee, he had some questions about setting up a ladder bar on a 5060 gasser. I don't know where you're at in your project, so go find us on Facebook so you can direct message us, give us some pictures and where you're at. Maybe I can give you a little bit better idea of where I would start from where you're at, but I'll show you what I have. All right, Cheech, this is what the setup is on the truck. I know it's not a ladder bar, it's actually a parallel 4-link with a wishbone, some QA1 coilovers, and a sway link. I know it's gonna be a lot different for a ladder bar, but this is what I've got on my truck, and it sets roughly this high. So about 2 1/4 in the front to the frame rail. So I realize that it's not a ladder bar setup. It's a 4-link, parallel 4-link with a wishbone and some coilovers, and a sway bar. But the kind of the same principles apply. You just don't have as much adjustability. So the first thing I would do right out of the gate is try to get your weights. If you don't have the ability to get your weights because you've already removed some stuff and it's just a frame, then you need to guess your weights. And for a truck, I would guess if you haven't heavily modified and moved the motor back and all that stuff, I'd probably start with like a 60-40 split. So 60% of your weight on your front tires. Then I would measure your wheelbase, measure your ride heights, and try to get a good idea where your center of gravity is going to be, which is, they generally say the center line of the crankshaft of the motor is a good idea. With a gasser, you may want to drop that a little bit because your motor is going to be quite a bit higher than really intended purposes. So, and again, I don't know exactly what style of gasser you're doing. I've seen some trucks that almost look like they've lifted the rear and the front. So if you're doing that, things might be a little bit easier because you can actually push that instant center pretty far out. So first of all, get all those information I just said, plug it down in the chart. I've got a chart I'll link below, and I've also going to link some videos from a guy on YouTube that's brilliant at talking about this stuff, Kevin Wilson. I learned a lot from him just watching his YouTube videos, the stuff I had problems with. He does great explanations of stuff. But you plug all that stuff in, and then you need to figure out where the bracket's going to be on your rear end. If you don't already have brackets purchased, then you could kind of put that wherever you really want, but you're only going to have to input 2 points, your upper and lower, and then where they're going to be in space, okay? And if you want me to do a follow-up video to this, just doing, let's say, my truck, even though it's a 4-link, so it gives you a better idea of how to input these numbers, I'll do that. But you get that in there, and then you're going to guesstimate where you need to put your front. And guesstimation may be easy because you might already have the links purchased, the ladder bars purchased, so you can just measure forward and then where they're going to be at on the car, and that's where your instant center is going to be. It's going to be 1 point. You put both of those numbers for the top and bottom because that's where your instant center is hidden, and that's going to give you your anti-squat. I would shoot for at least 100% anti-squat at the middle hole of your bracket that's mounted to your frame, and then fab around that. So a good chassis is generally built from the numbers and the science, and then the body gets put around it. Gassers are a little bit different because you're going for the look, and that look is sometimes hard to achieve also with getting the max performance. But there's a ton of guys running ladder bars and having really good success with them. I would suspect they probably have some pretty high anti-squat numbers to shove that tire into the ground. I personally like the 4-link stuff because I can set my instant center really far out, and really low is where I've had the best luck. Although we were having some traction issues, so I probably need to pull it back and raise it up a little bit to try to drive the rear end even harder. But if there's any particular details, I'm trying to figure out where you're at. So if you give me where you're at on Facebook, I'll do an even better video. But check the links below, follow the information I just provided, and see where you end up. And I hope that's informative. Thanks, guys. See ya. Cheech. Peace.